Julian Assange is preparing to appeal a London court's ruling that he be extradited to Sweden over rape allegations. The WikiLeaks founder says the charges are baseless, and if extradited, he believes he won't face a fair trial. RT's Laura Emmett reports now on why Britain's agreed to extradite Assange while granting safe haven to those wanted on far more serious charges.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange learns the court has ordered his extradition to Sweden to face questions over rape allegations. And he's got some interesting questions of his own.
Why is it that I am subject, a non-profit free speech activist, to a $360,000 bail? Why is it that I am kept under electronic house arrest when I have not even been charged in any country?
He's not the only one asking that, particularly as the British government has a history of granting asylum to some fairly controversial characters. Recently, the immigration minister admitted 139 suspected war criminals have been given the right to settle in Britain permanently. They're thought to include former henchmen of Saddam Hussein, an Afghan official who tortured prisoners, and Rwandan genocide perpetrators.
Our basic tradition relating to asylum is that anybody can come here, provided they are loaded. Provided they've got lots of money, we will let them in, because we want them in with their money. And therefore, it's not particularly that Russian magnates and oligarchs are welcome here. Arab sheikhs, who may have a dubious criminal record, as it were, of torture, yet they're allowed to swan around London, Knightsbridge, Bayswater, wherever. No problem whatsoever.
Since the Second World War, the UK's seen only 2 successful convictions for war crimes. And despite recent retrospective laws that allow suspects to be brought to justice in this country, according to anti-torture campaigners Redress, so far nothing's been done.
Well, we have made clear over the years that we're very concerned about such suspects being in the UK, whether they are suspected of war crimes or genocide, crimes against humanity, torture and so on. And we are of the strong view that people like that should be investigated by the UK police authorities. And if there is sufficient evidence found for a prosecution, they should be prosecuted here in the UK. There are mechanisms, there are laws, there is the police, there are ways of bringing these people to account, these suspects. But it seems very little is being done.
The list of the rich and powerful on Interpol's wanted list resident in the UK is long, and around 40 people wanted by Russia alone are living here. In 2003, alleged Chechen terrorist Ahmed Zakayev was granted political refuge. The same year, asylum was granted to Russian tycoon Boris Berezovsky, convicted of embezzlement in Russia.
It shows here the hypocrisy of the British courts. Berezovsky is quite clearly been involved in the mafia over the years, all sorts of very serious offences, which you may actually quite literally equate with terrorism, and yet he has not been extradited. And yet we see here what appears to be, anyway, a trumped-up charge of rape, which hasn't actually even come to charges in Sweden. Now, there is going to be an appeal, so we'll see. But this certainly does appear to show blatant political interference in the court system here in Britain and total hypocrisy from the British justice system.
While Julian Assange looks set to be cast from the safe harbour of the UK into choppier waters, it's unlikely he'll sink from trace just yet. He may not have billions in the bank to buy himself out of trouble, so he'll just have to hope his friends in high places have influence.
Assange's defence team has vowed to now take his case to the highest courts in the land in the hope of preventing his extradition. Meanwhile, some of the world's nastiest people, suspected torturers, terrorists and war criminals, remain at large in the UK under the protection of the state. Laura Emmett, RT.